Bruce Mitchell, final segment coming up. What about CM Punk? He just had that UFC fight a couple of nights ago, and again, the money he made, I think the total he took in was about $530,000. I'm not sure if he gets another fight, but if he can stay with the mixed martial arts and make money like that for one bout every 2 or 3 years, that's a lot better money than what he'd make on the wrestling scene, I would think. What about CM Punk? Does he stay with the mixed martial arts fighting? Maybe the UFC, Dana White may not want him back, but where does he go? What does he do next? And is he doing the right thing? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think that the two fights and the fight Saturday night, he's not at the level of, he's 39, closing in on 40 years old. He's not at the level he started very late. He's not the level of fighter that he would need to be credible in this. He didn't look credible the other night, and I hope he doesn't go to Bellator and wrestle more freak show fights, or not wrestle, but fight some freak show celebrity fights. I hope he's tested himself. I respect that, and he's found out the answers and in a way that a lot of people talk about, but he actually did, and there's no taking that away from him, neither that $500,000. And of course, he went from maybe being liable for millions and millions of dollars to not having to have that pressure over the top.
Are he and Colt Cabana still friends?
I think so. I
saw that on the internet. Talk about that. Yeah.
Some, and I think he's a interesting personality, and you can kind of be on the outs with.
Do you think maybe you could get maybe a lot of some kind of work as a commentator for Bellator or for maybe one of the other fighting
organizations? That's what I'd like to see him do.
Commentary.
Intelligent guy, well spoken. Certainly, you would think he's learned a lot. He knew mixed martial arts before, but now has learned a lot by participating and being there. I always said that would be the next step for him. I don't want to see him fight anymore, and I don't believe we're going to see him back in WWE. I really don't. I don't think this is even a Bret Hart situation where there's this big gap. I think he, not only was it traumatic what happened when he left, but then 4 years of having the shadow of this lawsuit over his head. I think he wants done with professional wrestling. He is going to make an appearance for pro wrestling T-shirts in Chicago during that All-In weekend and sign autographs. But I think besides the very limited things like that and maybe comic book conventions, I think this guy is going to go watch the White Sox or the Cubs. I forget which one it is.
Do you see him continue to market that name, just keep that name CM Punk, or does he switch and go to Phil Brooks one day? Just keep it CM Punk?
I would think he keeps CM Punk because he does own it and it is what he has, but maybe he goes to, I wouldn't predict very much of that, but I think there's a real I got to get away from professional wrestling, and I just don't see him coming back, and he's got reason for that. I don't think things were handled very well in this departure, and he's a part of that, but I think there's a lot of blame there in WWE. And then the lawsuit was definitely a bullying tactic, and you never know what a jury's going to do. He is fortunate to have won that lawsuit. And
well, let's get you quicker to close that. Then we close that CM Punk. We'll go to Ric Flair update. What's he doing now? Any new news on Ric Flair? Where is he? How is he? What's he doing these days? What's he up to? Ric Flair.
He is about to be the father-in-law of my friend Conrad Thompson, and but he's also working the appearance gates and taking pictures and for cash, and he's involved with sports a lot. My understanding is, and I'm not there, but my understanding is he's not drinking.
Good. That's really good.
He's held it together ever since that major health crisis, as far as that goes, and so a little more fragile health-wise, but doing better and happy with things, and you wish the nature.
So maybe a little happier these days with a slower pace then. Maybe able to adjust to the slower pace.
Might be, still with his eye on his daughter's career and where she's going to go and where she stands with Ronda Rousey and where she stands on SmackDown and all the rest of that. So
do you see yourself at the wedding when Conrad Thompson weds Rick's daughter? You would be at the wedding, possibly?
Haven't been invited, but who knows?
Things could change between now and Chicago, right?
Yeah, I put it like this. I imagine I'll be seeing the Conor Addison before too long. It may not be that weekend, but I'll be seeing the Conor Addison before too long.
Bruce Mitchell took time out of your busy schedule to talk with us. Good job today. We'll try to get this downloaded as soon as possible on the website. Thank you for talking with us. And again, have a good summer.
You too, Andy. Good to be back. Oh, Andy, I have this book to plug.
Yep. Gave that book to you.
This is 16 Win by 2 by Andy Durham, a basketball light on the outdoor courts. And I've known Andy for let's think.
Probably
Almost
20
30
years.
Yeah, 25 years, I
25,
think.
30 years.
And
yeah.
always on the run, and always playing court basketball here in Greensboro. Can still knock down the
Yep.
knock down the
was
nets.
out there last Sunday doing a
Yep.
few more shots.
Yep. So pretty cool book.
Thank you, Bruce.
So everybody get out and buy this. I imagine you can find it on Greensboro Sports.
You can put it under your pillow and sleep with it at night. It's a nice little associate with your sleeping in the evening.
Yes, sir.
Make you a better basketball player too if you put it under your pillow. The osmosis will drain right to your head. You'll be shooting ball this Sunday and you'll never stop.
Well, I mean, until the last year or so, the last of my basketball was I could on the courts on Four Seasons Boulevard. On the 9-foot goal, I could knock down a half-court shot in front of impress a lot of little kids. So that was. It might take me 10 times, but I could do it. So that's about what I have left.
Still, he is not considered complete to be the best was, best is, best ever will be. But Bruce Mitchell is the king of the ring reporters. Thank you, Bruce. We'll see you in the next roundup.
All right, Andy.